Welcome to Dragonfly Trading. Hope everybody's doing wonderful today. Today's video is going to be an update on Bitcoin. We're getting very close here, and I'm sure everybody's wondering, are we going to break the all-time high? Well, remember, this is not financial advice. This is just the way that I see the market, and I intend to trade it. All right, so with that said, we are going to take a look at what counts we still have on the table here and what counts we don't. Okay, so if we break this resistance here, you can wipe off the zigzag count that this is a 5, 3, 5 to the downside. Okay, what it means is it will invalidate the count that this was a 5-wave move right here. This is a 3-wave move, and then we're going to come down in 5 waves. That's a zigzag. If we break this last resistance here. Let's talk about, if we break it, what counts we have left. I've talked about this in my prior videos, and we have what's called the expanded B pocket. Now, the expanded B is breaking the high by 5% up to 132%, which comes out to be the 1.236 and the 1.382. What I mean by that is that we can come up here and just barely break the high, and that's still considered an expanded B, and then come down to the downside. Okay? Keep that in mind. Oops. But normally, it's going to hit one of these fib extensions. It can also come up past those fib extensions, but it can absolutely cannot hit this 1.618 and then come to the downside. This count would assume that we've made a corrective 3-wave move here in the middle, okay? An ABC to the upside. And the overall count would be that we had a 3-wave to the downside, 3-wave to the upside, and now we're going to come down in a 5-wave move, and this is called a running flat. If this happens, this is the correction we want, the running flat, because it makes a higher low, does not break the A wave, and then we would need to bounce with a 5-wave move, and we're on our way for our big 5th wave. The other option is that we do the expanded B just like the running flat, but it's called an expanded flat, and it breaks the A, and it comes down deeper. If this happens, I don't feel we'll ever break this bottom resistance right here. I don't think we'll go any lower than that. These are the options that are still on the table. Now let's talk about Mega Bull. Mega Bull would assume that somehow we ended down here for a 4th wave, that all of this was a wave 1, and it's a leading diagonal. This is a wave 2, and we're headed up for a big wave 3, 4, 5. That's going to get way on up there. This inner count here is the inner wave of the third wave, meaning we could come up very high, much higher. Then we come for a 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm not pulling fib extensions on here, but you get the idea. So breaking under 40,560 on log scale would invalidate this mega bull count going to the upside now. We have to hold that line there. What else could be going on? This has gone too high now to be able to call this an A, and this is a B, and then we're coming down for C. If you pull a fib extension on this, as you can see, it hit the 1.618 already. Okay, that's the invalidation for a B. And also, when we get down into the lower time frames, you'll be able to see that this has just gone up too high to be considered an A, a B, and a C. Okay, so the move that I talked about that we were possibly going to do, let's see, this, and then up, has been invalidated by this going up too high. Okay, so something that I wanted to also show you, and let me see if I can get down just a little bit lower because it will show it better. See this correction right here where we were channeling, making higher highs and higher lows? And I don't have that channel perfect, but you get the idea here. We were correcting, but we were making higher lows and higher highs, and then we broke out. That is sort of the same exact thing we're doing here. We're making higher highs, higher lows in that upward channel motion. If we're going to do the same thing, then it would lead me to believe that we have another wave coming to the upside to complete this wave. Now remember, we can definitely do the A, the B, and the C move. Don't forget that. Just breaking the high, and then it definitely would take everybody by surprise that we're coming to the downside. And it would be, you know, a pretty significant move. So we're talking the 1-to-1 is sitting at 61,308. So we could get another push to the high here, and it still can be an ABC. Okay? Keep that in mind, guys. That could be, definitely a count. And it is one that I am watching very closely. Okay, so let's go down to a lower time frame and let's dig into this right here and see if we can tell what's going on. Okay, so this was a pretty funky correction right here that definitely took me by surprise and a lot of other people, because we had this flat in the middle that was corrective, and this is the ugliest looking C wave I've ever seen. But it is what it is, and we have an A, B, and I'm assuming a C here. So that makes for a wave 1 and a wave 2. Then we go on up, and we had an extended fifth in here for our third. All of this in here is a complex correction of a W, an X, and a Y. Now, some Elliotticians are trying to call the correction going like this, as a flat. Well, I don't see it that way, because if you pull a fib extension from low to high, as you can see, we hit the 1.618. That is an invalidation for this being the A, let's see, A, B, C flat, because it went too high. So with that said, that tells me that this move to the upside right here, that does look like 5 waves, was a 5th wave. Now the question here is, do we get another 4th? And do we get a 5th to the upside? Well, right now we have the option that this is all an A, this is all a B, and we're going to come down for C for that 4th. If we get bullish divergence, which would mean we would need to come down here and reset, make bullish divergence, okay, and then break to the upside for 5 more waves. If it's going to go that way, how else could it go? Well, the 4 could be, and I don't really like this because of time, this 4 should be longer, but it doesn't have to be. But it should be. Could be we're starting this 5th now. And what we have is a 1, 2, 3. This 4 cannot come into our 1 here. So it's got to hold high. 4, 5. I would assume that this would be the last 5th, and then we would have a correction. Now remember, what do we need to watch for? We need to not break this low right here at 40,800. So if we want this to be the mega bull scenario, we would need to correct back, which we could get a very shallow correction, and not break this low. Okay? Not financial advice, but it's obvious where your stop loss would go when we get this pullback. Okay, short and sweet. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will probably go live this weekend and we'll dig in deep. And I'll see you on the next one, everyone.